To me, what Caitlin's been able to do in a short period of time has been very impressive. Because I know people are like, oh my God, you said she wouldn't be good. But I didn't say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Sheryl Swoopes was replaced. They fired her. They kicked her off the game because of WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark. See, a few months prior, Sheryl Swoopes was out here talking as if she had a crystal ball and foresaw that Caitlin Clark wasn't attracting any top talent and that Indiana Fever was a dead end where no one wanted to play. She said these things with all of her heart as if she knew they were true. Guess what? Indiana just made one of the greatest moves in WNBA free agency history. Big names, big talents, game changers, and Sheryl Swoopes, who has been really silent, are all involved. Have you ever seen someone vanish after all that talk? That's precisely what's going on right now. The Indiana Fever just sent a loud message to the entire WNBA, so let's break it all down. How did Indiana flip the script? Why did players choose to sign with the Fever? And most importantly, how did Sheryl Swoopes end up looking this bad? Let's start by discussing Indiana's masterpiece in free agency. The Indiana Fever recently turned free agency on its head by shopping as if they had limitless funds in a video game. You know how it feels to sign every top free agent when your team is in franchise mode and you start feeling bad about creating a super team. That's exactly what happened here. Sydney Coulson is more than just a locker room leader. She's a glue player who improves every team, and that's just the beginning. These aren't just role players. They're elite difference-making athletes who could have signed anywhere. Natasha Howard is a champion, defensive beast, and versatile scorer. DeWanna Bonner is a 6'4" walking bucket and veteran who can do it all. Sophie Cunningham brings energy, swag, trash talk, and an instant spark. Indiana Fever are that golden destination, and I can't help but laugh at the people online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. But hold on, didn't Sheryl rant and vow that this would never occur? Let's take a moment to reflect on what transpired a few months ago on a podcast. Sheryl Swoopes expressed her complete belief that Indiana Fever was doomed.
But I also know players on that team that are like, oh hell no, we don't want to just be here.
Rather than merely speculating, she stated outright that no serious free agent would touch Indiana with a 10 pole. She talked about locker room drama, a purportedly toxic culture, and how players were avoiding the Fever as if they had a losing curse. She spoke so confidently that it seemed like she had the last say. However, the fact that the Indiana Fever are now drawing elite athletes rather than just signing players struck her like a freight train. Talent like it's a place where championships are won. Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, and even one of A'ja Wilson's closest friends, Sydney Coulson, made the move. These aren't simply mediocre acquisitions, they're game-changing acquisitions. And the greatest part is that they're taking place directly in front of Swoopes' eyes. And by the way, every single narrative about the Fever, it's like, whatever about them signing Sophie Cunningham, who they don't like, they love DeWanna Bonner. She probably would have laughed a few months ago if you had told her that elite free agents would be lining up to play for Indiana. But the truth is that she misread the situation. The Fever isn't just surviving, they're thriving. And guess what? The reason why is very obvious. That leads us to the Caitlin Clark effect. Let's now discuss the true cause of everything. She is a game changer, not just another rookie attempting to establish herself. Her influence goes beyond stat sheet numbers. It's about momentum, influence, and elevating the WNBA to a new level. When asked why she selected Indiana, Sydney Coulson gave us the straight scoop. Her decision was heavily influenced by Kelsey Mitchell, but she also heard nothing but positive things about Caitlin Clark from her Aces teammate, Kate Martin. That's right, players are flocking to Indiana because of Clark's reputation as a leader, competitor, and floor general who elevates everyone around her. This is what Sheryl Swoopes didn't anticipate. She believed Caitlin Clark was just hype, that the move from college to the WNBA would humble her, and that Clark would struggle for years before truly making an impact. Caitlin Clark is out there scoring 40 points like it's a casual cardio session. leading the league in assists like she's been in the WNBA for 10 years, selling out arenas in every city she plays in, generating record-breaking ticket sales, increasing TV ratings, and getting people talking about the WNBA like never before. Now players aren't just noticing. They're flocking to Indiana because they know that playing with Clark means being a part of something historic. And let's not forget, she's not even in her prime yet. The generational talent that everyone has been talking about, Caitlin Clark, has the leadership skills and buzz to propel this team forward. When Indiana faced the Dallas Wings, Sheryl Swoopes mysteriously disappeared from the broadcast. I don't think it was a coincidence, but the timing couldn't have been more perfect. It almost seems as though she didn't want to be around at that particular time. But this begs the important question. Why is the old guard finding it so difficult to accept Caitlin Clark's dominance? Let's just be real. A lot of WNBA veterans and legends aren't mad at Caitlin Clark because of her game. They're mad because she didn't wait in line. She didn't follow the so-called unwritten rules of how a rookie is supposed to enter the league. She didn't ask for permission. She didn't slowly work her way up, hoping to one day be accepted by the establishment. When Caitlin Clark wins MVP in year 2, the old guard meltdown will be legendary, and the excuses, shifting narratives, and desperate attempts to minimize her impact will all be hilarious. But no matter how loud the critics get, the results will speak for themselves. If Sheryl Swoopes continues to refuse to mention Caitlin's name, then the silence will be deafening.
So Sheryl Swoopes has said quite a lot of things. About the Indiana Fever. And they've just all been wrong.
Because eventually, when the wins keep piling up and the trophies start rolling in, even the biggest doubters will have no choice but to acknowledge the greatness that is happening. The Indiana Fever just turned the WNBA upside down. And Sheryl Swoopes? Let's just say that silence is loud. Before their eyes, the Indiana Fever aren't just here to play. They're here to dominate and change the game. If you're not on board yet, you might want to get out of the way because this train isn't stopping. We're breaking down every move, every game, and every hot take in the WNBA. So that's it for now. Stay tuned, stay excited, and I'll see you all in the next one. Caitlin Clark and the team are creating something special, and the haters will just have to deal with it. However, I want to hear from you. Did this free agency prove that Indiana is the next WNBA powerhouse? Who do you think is still sleeping on Caitlin Clark? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. I'm reading every single one.